Welcome to this edition of Think About Energy. As you see, we're trying something new for 2021. We're trying to make certain that our energy advocates know exactly where to go for solid information regarding the energy industry. We're highlighting our partners who bring that information, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly. We're blessed today to have Brittany Ramos join us from Shale Energy Alliance. A lot of you know Ms. Ramos. This is my first time to interview her. I'm looking forward to it. But it's a great honor to have her explain to us what Shale Energy Alliance is doing. This is a group that really is doing things differently and uniquely, but bottom line, they're getting information out. So, Ms. Ramos, thank you for joining us. And give us a little background on the efforts there of Shale Energy Alliance.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. It's exciting to be here with Think About Energy. Big fan of all that you do and all of your programs that you put together and really bring issues to the advocates themselves. So that's kind of what Shale Energy Alliance started as. The organization is more than 6 years old, so it's been around for a while. But 2020, as it was for most folks, kind of forced a bit of a change from the way it was to the new universe. So we are a 501c4 organization, which basically means that we advocate on behalf of issues, specifically for folks who are working in or maybe directly employed or their son or daughter's employed in the energy industry, the shale energy industry, and then the supply chain. So things like manufacturing, labor, petrochemicals. Basically, if you believe in pro-energy, safely advocating for the use of domestic energy, Shale Energy Alliance is for you. So that's kind of where we started. We've gone very digital this year, and we'll see what 2021 and 2022 brings, but we're very good at pivoting now because we have to be, and most importantly, bringing people together and keeping them connected.
Well, I must say, you guys handled the pandemic very well. We're still in it and you're still doing it. But as I look back and I think about the events that I participated personally in, and several of our colleagues and peers did, you guys had a big 2020. So can you walk us through a little bit about what you accomplished so folks have an understanding?
Sure. One of the biggest things we did as part of our SEA 2020 engagement plan, so you can see these wonderful photos with George Stark included there, the I Fracking Voted campaign. So obviously there was a presidential election, and we wanted to make sure that energy advocates had their voices heard. It's enough to know what's going on, but if you don't actually take that step to vote, you're leaving something on the table. And this is true of every election, and we'll continue pushing out voter advocacy platforms and campaigns. But we rolled it into iFracking Voted. So if you took a digital pledge that you would vote, we sent you 2 free stickers. One is reflective and hard hat approved, because that's very important to our folks. And the other you could stick wherever you wanted. And it was that idea that you're going to vote, you're going to bring others to vote. I don't care how you voted, if you voted by mail or in person, but you need to fracking vote. So we engaged a ton of folks, and most of it was digital. We had social posts going out, digital ads. We had a whole mailing campaign. And the neat part about it was targeted. So when you signed up, we got information as to where you were and could deliver you info that was specific and not just there's a presidential election. Because at the end of the day, that matters. But what matters more is locals. A lot of states have their own jurisdiction. They have their own regulatory authority. They need to know what's going on there. So you need to vote there. So if you can go back one more slide, I love this map because it shows just how far we got. So we got 1,600 voter pledges, first of all, from 34 states, which is impressive, and Mexico. So we sent them the stickers, but obviously, you're in Mexico, you're not going to vote in our election. So that's cool. But they wanted the stickers. But more than 55,000 engagements with the voter pledge and the voter toolkit, which you could go to, enter your information, find out your candidates, get information about your polling place, which obviously changed a ton because of COVID. Last minute regulations or changes at a very local level, we were able to give you that information. And we reached over 1 million people through email and social media outreach. Like, it was a gangbuster campaign. We partnered with a lot of companies. It was phenomenal. So we really enjoyed the reach. And more than that, we also did some actual outreach, like picking up a phone, which is a crazy thought now. We called and emailed over 700 different supply chain companies in the basin. So Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia is where we focused. As you can see by that, we got much further than that. And, it was crazy, the statistics. You had over 700 companies that then pushed out that information to their employees or maybe their families. And I think the thing that we were most proud of is the new voters registered. We registered 67 new voters. That's amazing. These are people who could have voted before, or maybe, they just turned 18, but we got them to register through our system. We were also, some of our advocates were handing out, paper information that they could fill out and mail in. So we could only technically count the ones that came through our program, but we got people to vote. And obviously in 2020, it seems like everybody voted. The turnout was amazing, and we're proud to have helped driven that, and just making sure that people, you can see, they were looking what their candidates were, where their polling place was. We wanted to have super informed advocates before they went out to their polling places.
It was impressive to see all that you did. And again, we were part of that, and it was fun to get folks engaged. And again, I know that it's so important because it's one of the biggest things we talk about, the idea that elected officials, we need to be engaged with them. They need to know what we're doing. Yeah. And again, if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the cores of SCA, your ability to get everyone around the table and just talk, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so SCA really focuses on 3 pillars. The first one is to connect folks, which is kind of what you're hinting at right now, and what's popping up on screen. The other 2 are in educating, which is what we try and do all the time. We have email news blasts, we have social media, and mobilize, which I already talked about. But these screenshots before were about actual folks who came to speak with us. So we had Jack Sarah from Ohio, we had state representatives, we had county commissioners, we had folks who were part of the industry, we had Senator Manchin. We had these folks take time and just come and speak to us. And what we did is we did it through Twitch, which is traditionally a gaming platform, but we were able to kind of modify a broadcast where I came to folks live from my downstairs very green dining room. If anyone had seen the broadcast, your eyes are probably like melted now from that. But we did a live broadcast. We had these folks come in and speak, share updates, let us know what was going on with COVID relief. Like, what were you doing in your area and how could we help? What did we need to be aware of as an industry? Because this industry, it's not confined by state or even a region. These folks are working where their expertise is needed. Some folks travel for work. So keeping them updated, making sure what was going on, and then also telling the story of the give back during COVID. The personal donations and the company donations during this pandemic, they blew us away. Like, what folks were donating from their PPE stores, how they were donating canned goods. They were doing everything they could to give back to local communities because everyone had to pull together. Like, 2020 was a heck of a year. And somehow we're moving through it and into 2021. So we have these live streams. We'll continue doing them this year, at least through the first half. The other part is, you'd seen a little logo there for the Unconventional Games. We did an all digital, basically like an Olympics. So it was invite only. So we didn't really widely broadcast this, but what was neat about it was we used to have in-person events, which are phenomenal, and we hope to get back to those soon. But by doing digital things like logging your miles, or we had one student who was on the swim team and he was like, can I log my swimming miles? He blew past everyone. Like, that kid's in great shape. We did a paint night. There was trivia. There was all of these different things to keep people together. And they got to do them digitally with their families. And it brought them something else to do while you can't go anywhere. You're trying to do something with your children other than stare at an iPad. So we're going to look for more opportunities to do hybrids events, because while we like being in person, we also recognize that doing things digitally brought, you saw, we have over half the states where people were coming in and participating in activities with us. So we want to keep that connectivity. If you're in a different shale basin, if you're in the Permian, cool, that's fine. Come hang out with us. But we want to make sure that we're engaging and we're staying connected as much as possible. So that's really the connect aspect. And people, especially early in the pandemic, it wasn't an option to just sit there and not do anything. So our Twitch broadcast really brought us that opportunity. And I believe, George, you spoke at one of them too. So thanks very much for joining.
And again, I was glad to be there because, again, I think that's what's neat about it. You've got such a core that you're trying to get out, but the bottom line is you're doing it in a fun, social way. And if we know that 2020 took something away, it was being social. So you guys in the energy industry brought together, as we saw, Guy Reschenthaler, Senator Manchin, you did things with elected officials. Now you did the Unconventional Games. You made it so that our folks could stay together socially, but still get good information and be proud of the industry they work in. What do you have coming up for 21?
So we're continuing to push out education, right? So we're doing a whole series on social media. We did in 2020. We'll continue it. Education. What's going on? What are some fun facts that folks in our industry or who care about the industry in general can take with them and tell other folks? Like, what do you power? How much of natural gas production goes to power the United States? George, do you know?
I don't know.
It's more than 33%, more than a third of the electricity you use in your house and your home and your industry is from natural gas production. Like, it's a crazy amount. So even electric vehicles, you're powering those, not to mention the petrochemicals that you use to make them. So we have this whole series, We Power, We Employ, and We Fuel, that talks about the different things. So that's hopefully shareable content you can use. We want to destigmatize our industry. You know, it is drilling rigs and it is being out on location, but it's also, again, it's making the PPE that we are literally using every day when we go to the grocery store right now. And where this industry is helping folks to kind of get back to some semblance of normal. And even before then, it was fueling everything. So you'll see this series. You can also go to our website at any time. We keep that updated. We have an email newsletter that you can sign up for there. Thank you for displaying all of our fun things. And then we'll also encourage folks to join SEA Nation. One of the easiest ways to do it, you can text DRILL to 52886. We will also send you 2 of the iFracking voted stickers because you better have voted. But we'd love to have you in and join us. Again, we range from having fun and trivia nights to actually taking action on pro-industry legislation. So things like House Bill 1100 in Pennsylvania, which is now Act 66, the idea that you want to encourage investment in the state to grow. And that's true of the entire basin and beyond. And we love partnerships like with Think About Energy because you guys kind of hit a different tone. So as we can cross promote one another, we're here for that. So we encourage partnerships, allyships, because we need that. We need to stay together. We need to stay focused, and we need to share this great information.
Brittany, I can't argue at all because to your point, it's so well taken. We're looking to make certain that folks are getting the information. Some people want it, again, they want it digitally in an email from Jim Willis at Marcellus Drilling News. They want to know what's going on. You know, they might want to tune into PCN and watch Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association. You're offering them through SEA something different, something unique. And again, people have to take advantage of it. I can't thank you enough for coming on to give the overview of what you guys have going on. It's a ton. And again, it wouldn't be correct if I didn't say to text DRILL to 52886. I don't know how many times I repeated it in 2020, but it's the bottom line. You made it easy to get information on voting. Now you're making it easy for people to stay in touch with you. Our goal for these broadcasts are keeping people connected. So thank you. Thank the folks at SEA for what they're doing. And I look forward to your next Twitch.
Thanks so much, George. We'll see you there.
Yes, ma'am.